USS Quincy was a Baltimore-class heavy cruiser of the United States Navy. She was the third ship to carry the name. Quincy was authorized on 17 June 1940, laid down at Fore Shipyard of Bethlehem Steel Company, Quincy, Massachusetts as St. Paul on 9 October 1941, renamed Quincy on 16 October 1942 to perpetuate that name after destruction of the second Quincy at the Battle of Savo Island on 9 August 1942. She was launched on 23 June 1943, sponsored by Mrs. Henry S. Morgan, a daughter of Charles Francis Adams, and commissioned at the U.S. Naval Dry Dock, South Boston, Massachusetts on 15 December 1943, with Captain Elliot M. Senn in command. Service history. World War II. The third Quincy, a heavy cruiser, was authorized 17 June 1940, laid down at Fore Shipyard as St. Paul 9 October 1941, renamed Quincy 16 October 1942 to perpetuate that name after destruction of the second Quincy at the Battle of Savo Island on 9 August 1942, launched 23 June 1943, sponsored by Mrs. Henry S. Morgan, a daughter of Charles Francis Adams, and commissioned at the U.S. Naval Dry Dock, South Boston, Massachusetts. 15 December 1943, Captain Elliot M. Senn in command. After shakedown cruise in the Gulf of Paria, between Trinidad and Venezuela, the new cruiser was assigned 27 March 1944 to Task Force 22 and trained in Casco Bay, Maine until she steamed to Belfast, Northern Ireland with TG 27.10, arriving 14 May and reporting to Commander, 12th Fleet for duty. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander, Allied Expeditionary Force, accompanied by Rear Admiral Alan G. Kirk, inspected the ship's company in Belfast Lock 15 May 1944. Quincy sailed out of Belfast Lock 20 May for the Clyde and anchored off Greenock, Scotland, to begin special training in shore bombardment. She then returned to Belfast Lock and began final preparations for the invasion of Europe. Her floatplane artillery observer pilots were temporarily assigned to Voss 7 Flying Spitfires from RNAS Leon Solent. At 0537, 6 June 1944, she engaged shore batteries from her station on the right flank of Utah Beach, Bay de la Seine. During the period 6 through 17 June, in conjunction with shore fire control parties and aircraft spotters, Quincy conducted highly accurate pinpoint firing against enemy mobile batteries and concentrations of tanks, trucks, and troops. She also neutralized and destroyed heavy, long-range enemy batteries, supported minesweepers operating under enemy fire, engaged enemy batteries that were firing on the crews of the ships Susquehanna and Glennon during their efforts to abandon the ships after they had struck mines, and participated in the reduction of the town of Quinville on 12 June. Quincy steamed to Portland, England 21 June and joined TF 129. She departed Portland 24 June for Cherbourg, France. The bombardment of the batteries surrounding the city commenced in conjunction with the Army's assault at 12:07. 19 of the 21 primary targets assigned the task force were successfully neutralized or destroyed, thus enabling Army troops to occupy the city on 26 June. The heavy cruiser sailed for Mers el Kabir, North Africa on 4 July, arriving the 10th. She proceeded to Palermo, Sicily, the 16th of July, arriving 2 days later. Quincy, based at Palermo through the 26th of July, conducted shore bombardment practice at Camerata in the Gulf of Policastro. She then steamed to Malta via the Straits of Messina. Between the 27th of July and the 13th of August, the cruiser participated in training exercises at Malta and Camerata, Italy. On the afternoon of the 13th of August, in company with 4 British cruisers, 1 French cruiser, and 4 American destroyers, Quincy departed Malta for the landings on the southern coast of France, arriving Baie de Cavalier the 15th of August. For 3 days the group provided fire support on the left flank of the U.S. 7th Army. Quincy transferred the 19th of August to TG 86.4 and until the 24th engaged the heavy batteries at Toulon, Saint-Mandrier, and Cape Zichy. She steamed westward the afternoon of the 24th of August to support minesweepers clearing their channel to Port de Bouche in the Marseille area. Quincy was detached from European duty on the 1st of September and steamed for Boston, arriving 1 week later. She remained at Boston for the installation of new equipment through the 31st of October, when she got underway for training in Casco Bay. After fitting out at Boston for a presidential cruise, Quincy steamed for Hampton Roads, Virginia. The 16th of November, President Roosevelt and his party embarked on Quincy on the 23rd of January 1945 at Newport News, Virginia, for passage to Malta, arriving the 2nd of February. After receiving calls by Prime Minister Winston Churchill and other dignitaries, President Roosevelt departed Quincy and continued on to the Crimea by air to attend the Yalta Conference. The Quincy Agreement. Quincy departed Malta the 6th of February and arrived at the Great Bitter Lake in the Suez Canal 2 days later. After calling at Ismailia, Egypt, the President and his party returned the 12th of February, following the Yalta Conference with Stalin and Churchill, and the next day received Farouk of Egypt and Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia. For the 14th of February, President Roosevelt and King Abdulaziz of Saudi Arabia met aboard the Quincy. During the meeting, President Roosevelt tried to persuade Saud to give support for Jewish immigration to Palestine and hoped that Ibn Saud might be able to offer constructive advice on the Palestine issue. Roosevelt and Saud concluded a secret agreement in which the U.S. would provide Saudi Arabia military security, military assistance, training and a military base at Dhahran in Saudi Arabia in exchange for secure access to supplies of oil. After a call at Alexandria and a final meeting between President Roosevelt and Prime Minister Churchill, Quincy steamed for Algiers, arriving on the 18th of February. Following a presidential conference with the American ambassadors to Great Britain, France, and Italy, the cruiser steamed for the United States, arriving Newport News, Virginia, the 27th of February. Remainder of wartime career. Quincy sailed out of Hampton Roads the 5th of March 1945, arriving Pearl Harbor the 20th. After training in the Pearl Harbor area, she steamed for Ulithi via Eniwetok, joining the 5th Fleet the 11th of April. 2 days later, she departed Ulithi and joined Rear Admiral Wiltz's cruiser Division 10 in Vice Admiral Midge's fast carrier task force. For the 16th of April, Quincy supported the carriers in the strikes on Okinawa, Amami Gunto, and Monami Daitoshima. She returned to Ulithi with units of the task force the 30th of April. In company with units of TF-58, Quincy departed Ulithi the 9th of May for the area east of Kyushu, arriving the 12th of May for carrier strikes against Amami Gunto and Kyushu. Before dawn on the 14th of May, the cruiser splashed a Japanese plane, her own aircraft struck targets in Okinawa on Tokunoshima. The 19th of May, Quincy continued to support carrier aircraft strikes against Okinawa, Tokunoshima, Kikijima, Amami Gun 2, and Asumi Gun 2 until the force returned to base the 13th of June. En route, Quincy safely rode out the severe typhoon of the 5th of June. During the period of replenishment and upkeep at Leyte, Rear Admiral Wiltshire Crude If-10 transferred to Quincy. The cruiser departed Leyte the 1st of July with Task Force 38 to begin a period of strikes at Japan's home islands which lasted until the termination of hostilities. She supported carriers in strikes in the Tokyo Plains area, Honshu, Hokkaido, and Shikoku. Quincy joined the support force the 23rd of August, and 4 days later helped occupy Sagami 1, Japan, and entered Tokyo Bay the 1st of September. Rear Admiral Wiltshire transferred his flag the 17th of September to Vicksburg, and the 20th of September Quincy joined the 5th Fleet as a unit of the Eastern Japan Force TF-53, basing in Tokyo Bay. Korean War. Quincy was decommissioned on the 19th of October 1946 in the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard, Bremerton, Washington. She was assigned to the Bremerton Group Pacific Reserve Fleet until the 31st of January 1952, when she recommissioned to serve in the 7th Fleet in support of United Nations forces in Korea. Following fitting out and readiness training, she served in the screen of the fast carrier task groups ranging off the coastline of Korea from the 25th of July 1953 to the 1st of December 1953. She again decommissioned the 2nd of July 1954 at Bremerton. Fate. Quincy sat in the reserve fleet at the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard until she was stricken on the 1st of October 1973. She was the only one of her class to retain her 40mm mounts instead of receiving the newer 3/50ths mounts. Of the Baltimore class, she had the second shortest active career, and only was in active service for 5.5 years. She was sold to American Ship Dismantling Co., Portland, Oregon on the 1st of September 1974 for $1,156,667.66. Awards and other recognition. Quincy received 4 battle stars for World War II service. Crew members also received campaign medals for both the Atlantic and Pacific theaters, in honor of the meeting between Saudi's King Abdulaziz and Franklin D. Roosevelt aboard Quincy. The official residence of the American ambassador to Saudi Arabia is named Quincy House, and is located on the Diplomatic Quarter in Riyadh. In 1995, to commemorate 50 years since the meeting occurred, then U.S. Ambassador Ray Mabus unveiled a detailed model of the meeting on Quincy, paid for with private donations, and this model is still on display today at Quincy House. Quincy's ship bell has been preserved, and is on display at Constitution Common in Quincy, Massachusetts.